Well, without further ado, I'd love to introduce Director Barbara Kopple and Miss Sharon Jones to the stage.
How y'all doing? All right, good. I was watching y'all watch the. Um,
I was too, and I was really excited because they were all watching it over there as well.
How did Miss Sharon Jones come about? How did you guys come together for this project?
Well, there's this wonderful man named Alex who's right over here. Come show yourself.
oh, he ain't coming. He's not. Look,
He's Sharon's manager, and he called up VH1 and said, I think there should be a film about Sharon Jones. And they agreed. And these two people were Steve Mintz and Brad Abramson. And I had done a film with them called Woodstock Now and Then that celebrated the 40th anniversary of Woodstock. And by some really wonderful stroke of good luck, they said, well, we have just the person we think would be great for that. And that was me. And I was just so excited. That's how it started.
Wonderful. Well, I know the first time you all actually met was the day, Sharon, you were shaving your head.
Yeah.
So what was that introduction like for the both of you?
well, I knew the camera was coming, and I was expecting it, but to see them and just while going through that, you can actually, even though they behind the cameras taking this stuff, you could see I can see that they felt what I was feeling, the sadness, but they captured everything, and they gave me that. You saw at the end, I was like, I look so cute there, So put some, you got to put a little humor and stuff, and it was.
And also on that day, you showed your incredible sense of humor because you went to a place to try on wigs, and we could hardly contain ourselves to stop laughing. She would model them, and then she'd have some criteria for every one of them. Do you remember that?
Yeah. I said one of them made me look like Dionne Warwick. When she was not Dionne Warwick, the singer, Dionne Warwick,
I don't know.
she was telling your future child, the future teller. Yeah, that was the one I looked like.
Wonderful. Well, you've been with the Dap-Kings now for almost 20 years with some of them.
Yeah, 20 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
What has that journey been like with them as a family, as like your brothers? What has that been like for you all?
Not all of them have been with me over the 20 years. Basically, Gabe, maybe Neil, maybe 18. Some like 12 years, and some 6 years. But just being 20 years with Gabe, just the band, as you can see, that's why we're so tight. I think that's why our music, we connect, because we like, they have no idea some nights what I'm going to do on stage. I'll be like, whatever I feel like doing, I'm like, bang, they go, what, bang, and just having to play something. And matter of fact, the other night, I came out, I haven't did the song Got to Be the Way It Is in a long time. And I go, bam, they go, what, bam, it's got to be what, the way it is. They go, bam, but then they was all like, and they was all like, hitting notes. I was like, I've caught the Dap-Kings off guard, but they got it though. But they didn't know what I was gonna do. So just being close like that, I could just call stuff. And Gabe just follow me. He can watch me. He'll know if when I'm struggling, he'll know that let's pick it up, or slow it down, give it a chance. And he called the songs, but they watch me and they know.
That's wonderful.
We're like a glove. I always say that we like a glove. The hand fit right in the glove.
Well, Barbara, for you as a filmmaker, were there any points where you thought you wanted to take the camera away as Sharon was trying to heal? Or were there any moments in the film that were really difficult for you to watch?
No. A documentary filmmaker never wants to take the camera away.
Okay.
You don't want to miss a moment, a treasure, something happening that's just so beautiful. Mm-hmm. And if you don't have the camera there, you've really blown it.
For sure.
And I think the difficult things, Sharon's such an amazing personality. She's so full of life and just sunshine glows wherever she's around. So even the difficult situations, she made them so beautiful. Even sitting in the room where people were getting chemo, she'd make them laugh. She'd talk to them about things, and she would laugh. And it was really wonderful
Wonderful.
experience to be with her.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Well, Sharon, let's talk about your latest single, I'm Still Here. It's just a beautiful song, and it fits perfectly with the film. Can you talk about writing that or what your experience is performing that?
We actually finished that up a couple of months ago. I was actually in the studio working on the album, and then we got the to do the commercial, the Lincoln Town Car commercial. And at that point in time, I started going through pains, and that's when I realized the cancer and stuff was back. And we finished it up, and they was like, we got to have a movie for a theme song for the film. And we had just finished that song. We went in, and they like, what are we going to do? And they're like, just write about when I left my home. And it was like, I sit there and wrote it, but the whole band, we all put our input in on what's, I was like, well, how do I put in cancer? They're like, don't say cancer. Say the big C crashed down upon me. I was like, oh yeah, that sounds good. And we just went from there. And in a lot of the places like down under the big bowl, we talk about the Hollywood bowl, we just use certain terms. And it felt good watching everyone watch me write this. And what else can I say about my story? I left, and they would like, blah, blah, and that's how we wrote that. And we did that in like a,
You did it really
Really
quickly
quick, yeah.
because we had to
Yeah.
put it in, over the credits to finish the film, to give it to stars.
I think we finished that
we
in
did
maybe
it
2
very
days.
quickly.
Yeah, we did. It was fun. And it's
Well-
like a little bio of my life, yeah.
For sure. And you've worked so hard to get where you are. And I just wanted to show this clip to really give people an idea of how far Sharon has come.
Yeah, that was those, and I look back and I get to watch this and I look how the chemo is affecting me again, but it's not how it turns my skin dark and my fingers, and I'm looking at that like, wow, But it always just, you get to see it, and it just, I just still see how that fight I have in me, and I just want to keep fighting, just want to be here. And I'm just so glad that I inspire other people to, other cancer patient, or you've known someone, I'm just glad to be where I am, and this movie out. It's just amazing. Yeah.
For sure.
And also, this movie makes you feel so good after you've seen it. I showed it at several film festivals. It opened at Toronto, actually, where Sharon and everybody saw it for the first time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Never a frame before that. And my whole feeling was to watch her watching the film, and where she laughed, where she cried. I was just ecstatic to see her, and I don't know how you felt about seeing it with all those people, Sharon.
Well, I felt good. I mean, I really wasn't looking, but to hear the laughter, and then you look around and you see people like wiping their eyes and like the same time. But the main thing is Barbara got a seat like right in front of me, so every time I look up, I look down. This is what I see, and she's like, and then she's watching me when I'm crying, and then she's like, and then she got a camera. So that was funny to watch her watching me watch the movie was pretty cool. And
But you have to understand that being there with you and everybody for us as filmmakers is the dessert,
no.
because there we are, and you're rolling your eyes sometimes when we come and visit, and there we are in the editing room, and then we finally get to see it, and if you like it, it's
Yeah.
the most exciting thing in the world. I
Yeah.
can't tell you.
And I'm
what it
sort of
means.
glad I waited to see it for the first time, because there was a certain scene in the movie that I had definitely forgotten about, and I really got angry at the band. I cursed them out, literally used words. And
I think we got an X rating. No, I'm kidding.
When
kidding.
I saw it, I was like, ooh, oh, and I was like, church people are going to be watching this. And then I'm like, you know what? Those people that I've been around at church, they know me. They've been around me, and everyone who knows, I would not use that language, but get me angry, and it just flies out. I turn to a sailor, where it just, blah, blah, blah. And so So they'll laugh at that. I just told them, everyone in church, I say, when you see that, don't you judge me.
Well, it's the only time in the entire film that you're upset. The
Yeah.
only time, which
Right?
is
And it was,
remarkable.
and that wasn't long, right? You saw how.
No, and
you
then,
know how to-
you were tired and you were ready to eat. So
you know, they know how to calm me down. Those guys, they know what to do.
And also, too, Sharon's doesn't BS you ever. She's the real deal. And if she feels something about you, she's just going to say it. Like, get out of my face, or I don't want to see you, or why aren't you going to dinner with, she's real, she's genuine, and that's what makes her so wonderful, is she's so down to earth.
for sure, and you can feel that from the film. You can definitely feel that. Well, I want to talk about the Beacon Theater performance because it was really your comeback performance after being away for a while, healing. What was that like for you?
That was all those months that I was taking the chemo and going through all these changes, and all of that was that night. And here I am back behind the stage, and I'm still knowing I'm going to be a different person. Like, am I going to be that, what am I going to do? Am I going to get tired? Do I have to sit down? Am I going to be able to dance? How the air, and, I was just a bundle of nerves. But I'm always a bundle of nerves before I go on, but not like that night. And it's always once I knew I had the chemo brain, because people don't realize you're on that chemo and you get fogginess, you forget things. And I was like, am I going to remember all these lyrics, and these all the new songs. And we did literally every song off the album. So I was like, they came to me. You'll see, you'll see the clip.
What about you, Barbara? How
Yeah, that night for me was really emotional because I was backstage with Sharon, sort of interviewing her a little bit, or letting her just speak about how she was feeling. And she said, I don't know who the real Sharon is anymore, because Sharon is, like James Brown. And, she'd toss her hair, dance around. And she was afraid maybe she wasn't going to be able to do that, or to move, or to be too short of breath. And all these things were going through her mind. And then she went backstage, and she was holding a cup, and her hands were shaking, trying to get her nerves together. Then it was almost time for her to go up. She went over to the curtain, and we could see her from the back, and she looked like a prize fighter, ready to go into the ring, ready to take over. And when they said, Miss Sharon Jones, who kicked cancer in the ass, boom, she just went out. She was amazing.
Well, we have a clip for you guys to see of that performance.
Oh, okay.
Okay, all right, you described it great. Yeah.
It's such a great moment. Such a great moment.
Yeah, that was
Incredible. Well, I have one more question, and then we're going to open it up to you guys. But my last question for you, Miss Jones, is what do you want your legacy to be as an artist?
just to be the hardest working woman in showbiz. Let me stop. Just want to have that I did work hard, and if you're gonna do something, you gotta put time in. You got some of these young guys coming out. The new artists. They're out here for 5 minutes. When I say 5 minutes, 2 years, 1 year, and they making millions, and they such a big starter. They don't know what to do. And I think, like, when you work hard for something, you appreciate it a little bit more. You don't take things for granted. And I just really want to be people to say, wow, that young lady had a great voice, which, because I say God gave me that gift, and they really make some good music, and she put out some good soul music, and just want to be on people. That's it. I mean, I just want to be recognized for what we work hard for. Sure. We're musicians. We do good music, and we want people to enjoy our music. And that's my legacy, just to enjoy what I've done, and just always know that I was a fighter. That's what I want people to, sure. I was a fighter.
And one of the things that I want for Sharon, because Sharon has a dream, and I think we can all make it come true, is to sell 1 million records. So that's one of her dreams.
Definitely. Well, I'm going to open it up to the audience.
Hello. Do you feel that this whole experience with the documentary made you be able to go through this whole experience easier? Like, did it make the whole cancer
Yeah,
treatment?
this second time around, yeah. It's like, I know to me that was the hardest part because the first, when you just found out you had cancer and the type of cancer, and I saw myself on my deathbed for maybe about an hour or two, and then, then I know, no, I got a job to do. I got something to go on with, and now I'm just, it's back. I'm just continue to fight, just continuing on from where I left at, and just want to be an inspiration to anyone out there who's battling with cancer, a family member that's, or you've lost someone, just to inspire you to look back and know that their death wasn't in vain, as long as they was a fighter, and I tell people, or you're around someone with cancer, just don't pity them, just show them love and be there for them and keep them happy. That's the main thing, is the showing love and happiness and joy, and that'll keep them uplifted. Because if somebody see you all the time, every time you look at me, crying, I'm gonna be like, dang, and then I'm gonna feel bad. So you want to all try to be positive, and I hope I answered the question. Okay.
Hi, Sharon. I just want to say I love your music. Thank you for sharing your beautiful gift with us, first of all.
Well, thank you.
My question was, what was the hardest part of having, a camera crew follow you around, and did you at any moment want them to just go away?
You know what? No. Once we got through that, that only one thing I told them is like, I don't want this to be a reality show. I mean, you're filming me, yes, and you're gonna get, times, but I was not gonna have them. And one thing about the crew, they respected the wishes. That's what made me relax and feel comfortable around them. Because I said, if I didn't want something in there, they didn't put it in there. And one of the things was I did not want to, like, can you imagine if y'all would have watched this movie, then in the morning, here I am getting out of bed. Like, what, they slept with me with the camera in my face, So that was like, and I didn't want stuff like that. And they caught that. And like certain things, if the guys is back talking or use certain language and talking about certain things, personal, didn't want that stuff to be put out, And everything was great. So, and now I see it and I'm like, hey, I'm glad I did it, and once we started, I never regret it. A couple of times I would mess with them, like how much we have to get you quiet by yourself, downtime. I'm like, but how much can you film? Like, I figured 10 minutes of that's all you need. 10 minutes of me being silent, and they're filming me, and I'm sitting here painting by number. So I look up. So how long you guys gonna be? And they're like, Sharon, don't talk to us. We're not here. I was like, you are here. Oh, you think I'm good? And then just make them laugh. But it was all good. I'm so glad they really did that for me. I'm glad I didn't fight it and didn't say no. Just took it. You have to be, because if you don't want to do something, it's not gonna be right. So if every time they came there, and I was like, let me just put on this good face, caught the camera, and said that wouldn't have been a good thing. So everything worked great.
Right, and there has to be love between people and trust between people.
And this passion that you would see on her face, like even like I said, she's looking up watching. She's always like, even she's explaining it. And to see the passion that they put in behind those cameras, it's just what I put on stage. The passion when me and the band get to playing, that's the love we have. And you can see the love they had for the filming. So that was just great combination.
So you were talking about wanting to break 1 million records. Do you find that with audiences the way they are today, as opposed to 20 years ago, it's more difficult, easier, or do you feel that it's much harder because you'd really have to get out there and play live, and it's harder to sell through records?
You know
Can
what?
you talk about the state of the business for you?
Well, for the state of business, plus, you got a lot of, we're an independent label. If we had to sell, like, my first album came out and I didn't sell 1 million copies, the record label would have been kicked me away. Our record's not going to fall. Whether I sell 500 or 5,000 or 500,000, we're still going to be Dap-Tone Records, and our label's going to still be the same, and we still going to tour. That's the difference in independence. You got these major labels. Of course, they're going to promote. If I'm making millions, you can imagine how many millions they'll be making. So, and then they want to. You gotta be. This is what you're going to do. This is how you're going to dress. We want to sell you. We want sex. And I'm like, nobody's gonna tell me what to do and how to move and go on stage and do. They have to be natural to me. That's why we call it soul, and it comes from your heart. And you get on that stage and you feel off that audience, and I go from there. That's the difference in soul and whatever this is stuff they call nowadays.
Hi, Sharon. I love your music so much. My dad did too. I, too, found out this year that I had cancer. And I'm just wondering, I can't believe how positive you are. It is amazing to me. I've been watching you. So this happened in March. I'm like, how does she do it? What? And do you spend time with, like, talking to other cancer patients and
I
stuff?
didn't. They wanted to, when I was out, they was like, we're going to want to send you some psych. I said, I don't want to go. I don't really need to go and sit in a cycle. I just didn't want to go and sit and talk. I just my upbringing and, you know, my faith and being around church and being around so many family members dying from cancer and being around, and it's here.
Yeah.
It's just life, and you just got to realize, no matter what, they would have told me I only had a few months, I would have had to deal with it then and there. Life is life. You crying and it's not going to change it. It's going to happen. It's no matter what you do, you know. So you just have to accept it. And I think once you accept it, you can deal with it better. And just try to make yourself happy. And just try to keep yourself happy and keep positive people around you.
I was wondering, is there any music that you listen to that
I
keeps
did
you
listen.
up?
I did listen to gospel. Every once in a while, I'll find that gospel stuff to listen to. That was mine. But I didn't listen to a lot of music because I didn't listen to because I couldn't sing it. I couldn't get up and go. I couldn't even take in air from that whipple. With the first operation I had. But you have to find your space and find for you. No matter, you're going to deal with different cancer patients, they're going to tell you, oh, girl, I did this. And everyone is going to tell you so much stuff, but you just have to grip what you want and what makes you feel good. And the main thing is just stay positive.
You're definitely a huge inspiration to me these last few months.
If you just come in, it's going to be a battle. If you just, it's just beginning. But you just got to make sure you got good doctors and good people and ask a lot of questions.
Yeah.
And think for yourself. And don't just let the doctor tell you this. You tell them what you feel and what's going on,
Thank you so much for everything.
Okay.
Hi, this question is for both of you, actually. What advice do you have for young people in the arts?
Well, you can talk about your film. To me, the arts, if you're going out here, just make sure you follow your dream. You go through with it. And make sure you got talent now. Some people swear they can sing and they can't sing. Now, I'm going to tell you, if you can't, you can't. If you ain't got a talent, like, check me out, I'm bad. And everybody go, I don't think so. I think you should listen. But if you go somewhere and everybody go like, oh, that's, when you get that, you'll know when it's natural. And you just follow it. Because don't let anybody tell you you'll never make it or you're not this. Because, if you got it and it's there, follow it. And don't give up.
You stole my lines.
Stop it.
But you can do it. And if you have enough passion and perseverance, you will have lots of people that will help you.
That's right.
And will make things easier for you. You just have to let them know what you want to do, and you'll be so surprised. And don't be shy. Go out there, talk to people, go to events like this, meet people, and do the things that you want to do, and people will help. Don't be afraid.
Yeah.
Always fight against your fears. Whenever I'm scared, I always go out and I do what I need to do, even though I'm petrified inside.
That's right.
Thank you.
Hi. So basically, I assume you didn't know each other before you started this documentary. Did you spend time before shooting anything to get familiar?
Mm-hmm.
And
That's with the first scene with I
Jumped
met them.
right in.
Right in. They just died.
Jumped right in.
but
immediately.
then over the course of filming, you got to know each other.
Well, we got to know each other because we were always around each other.
Right. So Did
And
you
she
feel?
Googled a little bit. She read up a little bit and followed and found
Yeah.
out. And same with me, with her, and saw some of her
Oh, you
movies.
did? I didn't
Yes,
know
of
you
course.
read up
Yeah,
on
come on,
me.
come on, now, Barbara. I don't have to tell you all these things.
So over the course of filming, did you find it hard, Barbara, to keep an objective sense behind the lens?
I'm never objective.
Okay.
I love the people that I film, and I want them to bloom, and I want them to be the best people they can be. I have not 1 ounce of objectivity in my body. so.
Awesome. I like to hear that. Thank you.
All right.
Hi, this question is for Barbara. So, as a documentary filmmaker with such an amazing talent like Sharon, the editing room can be a little difficult. Are there any scenes that maybe didn't make the final cut that you wish you could have squeezed in there?
Let me think. I'm a hard fighter for the scenes that I think are wonderful. And lots of times, you know, the editors or Dave Cassidy, our producer, or somebody would feel a certain way. But I have to go by my instincts, even if they hate me that day for doing it. And so I think mostly everything we wanted. I think the only thing that didn't make it that I really wanted was Fernando's wedding.
Yes.
And that was a really beautiful scene, and I really liked it. But he can have it for his archive, or we can put it in for DVD extras. But I don't remember any other scenes that I lost that I didn't want.
I'm glad you said that because I was wondering about that. So yeah.
What is the greatest lesson that you've taken away from this experience?
Ooh.
Well, for me, the greatest lesson is that when things go wrong, to be positive, to really, Sharon taught me so much without even realizing it. I mean, I would go home at night and I would tell my family, I have just met this woman who, you know, is going through a very tough time, but yet she was able to lift everybody else up, including herself. And so I just learned that even if the worst and the most difficult things happen to you, be positive. It's all part of your mind, and live and love life. I mean, here she is going out, you know, doing her tour and not feeling good all the time. She gets on the stage and the adrenaline from the fans takes the pain away, and she gives that adrenaline right back. And that's what I take away from this, and it's a really, really important thing for me now in my life.
And I take away that I had to learn how to allow other people that's not in the family, you know, to trust other people and to trust that that's true love they have in order for them to, I allowed these people in my life at a personal part, and I had to believe in them. I didn't see a story. I was like, I ain't no story. And I had to really just believe that these people, and let them do their job. And they just said, you just be you. And I just had to be myself. So I had to learn how to trust and allow people around you that's showing you love and wants to do something for you. Sometimes you have to allow people to do that for you too. Sometimes don't say like, no, thank you, or no. You got to allow others to come in. You learn how to trust and know that they're right. They see what they see. I'm not a director, but I may see this not like that, but got to allow them to do their talent. Like when I get on the stage, don't try to tell me how to sing.
Right. And the beauty of this is that it's always here. It will never be erased. It'll always be here, and it'll always show all of these emotions and movements and feelings and sensibilities. And that for me is really important, that we will always have this film called Miss Sharon Jones.
And you get to see all of my emotions, the fear. And I know you got fear, young lady, and it's gonna be, you just gotta be strong and don't let that fear take over though. You know, you get over that fear. All right? And you cry when you wanna cry and you let it out. You know, and don't let nobody try to tell you what and how. You let your emotions out when they're there at that point in time. and the happiness, but allow the love too to come from someone and someone to be there for you. All right.
Well, thank you guys so much. Miss Sharon Jones will be out in theaters this Friday, and it will go wider next week as well. Thank you both so much for being here with us today.
So it's Friday, the 29th, for 1 week at the IFC. And if you go and you tell your friends and you social media about it, maybe it'll be 2 weeks at the IFC. So,
All right.
Thank you all.